Hello everyone. So myself Rinkal Choudhary, working as an assistant professor, School of Sciences, Forensic Science in Sage University, Bhopal. So I already talked about the history of forensic science and the forensic science definition. Now we can discuss about the branches of forensic science. How many branches will work out in the field of forensic? So as we already discussed about the forensic science, as it is multidisciplinary approach that will help to collect the evidences from the crime scene for further investigation or to the identification of criminal in criminal justice system. So these type of evidences can be belong from any field. It can be belongs to physics, chemistry, biology, medicine, psychology, and various type of fields we can include in the field of forensic. So we have to discuss about the role of these evidences and how the field will work out during the criminal investigation. So there are so many branches, and we are using here established methodology and scientific terminology in our criminal justice system or to the identification of the type of evidences, forensic evidences, or you can say that the physical evidences. First is forensic chemistry and toxicology, forensic biology and serology, forensic ballistics, forensic physics, DNA fingerprinting, forensic anthropology, forensic medicine, cyber forensic, forensic pathology, forensic odontology. In forensic odontology, we will discuss about some dental evidences. Forensic entomology is the study of insects. In the field of forensic science, how we can calculate time since death or post-mortem interval of any person through the study of insects. Forensic botany, as in normal botany, we will read out some plants. So in forensic botany, we will also read out the plants. Fingerprint, QD analysis, forensic psychology. Forensic psychology, we can use the criminal behavior, we can read out the criminal profiling, etc. These all branches like ballistics, physics, fingerprinting, anthropology, chemistry, toxicology, they will belong to the normal applied branches of the science. But the fingerprint and QD analysis is come under the pure forensic science. It will come under the pure forensic science subjects. These are called fingerprint, and QD means question document analysis. So first we have to analyze the evidence. First is trace evidences analysis. There are some laws and principles of forensic science. One of them are principle of mutual exchange. The principle of mutual exchange, also called Locard principles, and according to this principle, everything leaves a contact or trace evidence analysis, which provides to some link between the crime scene, perpetrator, and the victim. So, if I am explaining the law of mutual exchange, it is like as when two things come in contact with each other, they always leave traces, and it can be anything. It can come under the biological substance, ballistic evidence, or any trace evidence like hair, fiber. Okay, so same trace evidence is found whenever an object or person has had contact with the another object or person, and each of the objects, they leave behind some signs of its having been there. Means they will establish the presence of that particular person. So we can say that a criminal or his weapon come in contact with the victim or the crime scene, they will always leave some traces, and we will identify the traces for the establishment of the particular person. So like hair and fiber sample or blood sample can be collected from crime scene. First is the biological evidences. In the biological evidences, we will analyze some blood and body fluids that will be present or at any crime scene. So we have to analyze from these evidences. Some are visible. We can see through the naked eyes, and some are not visible. We cannot see through the naked eyes. Okay, so we have to analyze these type of evidences when we collect, or we can see that the large amount of bloods present at the crime scene. So we can examine the type of blood, we can examine the blood grouping, we can establish the identity of any individual, except then this is the very important analysis called blood spatter analysis. We can also examine the pattern and size of the bloody areas. So we can determine such as the trajectory of the blood. This is the very important topic. We cannot discuss this topic in some small time. Here we are only discussing about the branches of forensic science. After that, we will discuss in our next lecture what is the use of blood spatter analysis and how will we examine that. Second is DNA evidences. So DNA evidences also comes under the biological evidences, for example, blood and body fluids. But it is very important analysis when we use the trace evidences or biological evidences for the analysis of DNA, because it will establish the identity of any individual, because of the unique genetic markers. Second, it can be extracted from body fluid, semen, saliva, urine, vaginal fluid, and it is very important analysis to presence of alcohol, drug, poison, or chemicals. So it can be detected from the blood, but it comes under the forensic chemistry and toxicology. In DNA, we simply use any source of biological evidences and we can analysis for the DNA fingerprinting. Third is ballistics. Some forensic scientists specialize in the field of ballistic testing. As we also discussed in the history of forensic science, Calvin Goddard used comparison microscope for the identification of the test bullets. So in forensic ballistics, we will study the firearm, study ammunition, and also there are three types of ballistics examination: internal, terminal, and external. Internal ballistics may we can identify the type of ammunition. Terminal ballistics involves the how the science of the flight path that a bullet takes as it travels to its target. We will examine some formulas. And external ballistics may call wound ballistic. Type of wound will be produced by the type of bullet, or through the firearms, which type of wound will be present on that particular person. It can be entry and exit wounds. So we will identify the type of weapon on the basis of the wound ballistics also. Second, in forensic chemistry and toxicology. In forensic chemistry and toxicology, we will analyze various types of exhibits or evidences, such as drugs, cement, petroleum products, liquor, vegetable oil, fats, dyes, cooled chemicals. These can come under the forensic chemistry. In forensic toxicology, we will analyze some toxic substance. It can be any poison or drugs also. So in the forensic chemistry and toxicology, we will use HPLC, called high performance liquid chromatography, gas chromatography, mass spectroscopy, S means atomic absorption spectroscopy, etc. So as forensic toxicology is the study of presence of any toxic substance inside our body, we can analyze through the viscera or through the blood sample also. Now we will discuss about the biology and toxicology, as biological evidences comes from the blood and biological fluid. So in forensic biology and serology, we will examine some materials like blood, semen, saliva, urine, hair, fibers, which comes under the forensic biology, wood and diatoms. Diatom study also comes under the forensic biology. Next, forensic ballistics we also discussed in our previous slides, like identification of firearm, ammunition, bullet, and cartridge cases. So there are some ballistic fingerprints. We can examine the type of bullet. We can examine the type of firearms, which firearm were used during the hitting or during the shooting. So like the science of projectiles and the firearms is defined as ballistics. I also discussed internal, external, and terminal ballistics. So now comes to the forensic physics. Forensic physics in crime labs has been traditionally involved the measurement of density. So in forensic physics, we can various type of examination like soil examination, glass examination, or various type of physical evidences also examine, which will come under the forensic physics. Ballistics can be a part of forensic physics due to its variety of examination, which comes only the ballistics division. So it will separate it out from the forensic physics. The voice examination comes under the forensic physics. The forensic anthropology. As forensic anthropology is a special subfield, we will study the skeletal system in our body, how it can be used in the examination of any crime or how to solve any criminal case through the forensic anthropology. As for our whole skeleton system will be analyzed in forensic anthropology, study of bones, you can say that. So these techniques will be used in the identification to establish the identity through the age estimation, sex determination, and this branch can be used in many mass disaster cases or any unidentified dead bodies. Now, forensic medicine. This forensic medicine branch, we will know the medical knowledge. They will establish the facts. What were the facts in the criminal or civil cases? Or we can examine the time of a suspicious death. And forensic medicine also called forensic pathology. So we will examine the dead body or what is the circumstances to identify the cause of the suspicious death. It can be homicide, suicide, or accidental. So we will establish this type of examination in forensic medicine or forensic medical legal. There are some other branches we also discuss like cyber pathology, odontology, entomology. So what is forensic pathology? As forensic medicine is also known as forensic pathology. We will examine the type of death, determine the cause of death. In forensic psychology, we will study the criminal profiling and we will study the detailed description of the personality of any individual and what was the behavioral traits of the criminal. There are so many techniques also used in the forensic psychology. We can also determine this type of disorder if any criminal is having some personality disorder. It comes under the forensic psychology. And in forensic psychology, various type of techniques like lie detector, also called polygraph technique. And second is narco analysis. And third is brain fingerprinting, brain mapping. Forensic odontology, also called forensic dentistry. In this field, we can analysis or we can estimation the age. We can identify any individual through the dental evidences, through the teeth. Okay, we can examine the age and we can examine the gender also. Sometimes it cannot be performed because DNA is the only evidence that can give 100% true analysis about any individual, and it is also establish the individuality. So sometimes teeth can be used for DNA evidences. Forensic entomology. In forensic entomology, we will study the biology of some insects and arthropods. Various type of arthropods we will examine. Okay, when the dead body is under the decomposition stage, it will also represent some maggots and some flies, some eggs, some larvae, some pupa. Then on the basis of the study of these insects, we can estimate the time since death or post-mortem interval through the study of these insects. So in forensic entomology, we can estimate the post-mortem interval. Next is forensic DNA analysis. We also discuss various type of biological evidences, and it can be a very important analysis according to the case. We will establish the identity of any individual. And in any criminal investigation of the crime scene, it is very necessary to determine the identity or to establish the identity, whether it is of victim, it is of criminal, and it is of any other individual which is present at the crime scene uh, during the crime, during the occurrence of crime. Now comes what is forensic botany. It is the study and examination of plant-based evidence like woods, fruits, seeds, pollens. Because in at any crime scene, we can collect various type of forensic evidence. It can be anything. It can be a plant, it can be a pollen, it can be diatom, it can be hair, it can be blood, it can be anything. Forensic anthropology. Forensic ballistics we already discussed. Now, this is the some different branch like digital forensic, cyber forensic, computer forensic. So, in today's scenario, digital crimes or the forensic digital crimes, cyber crimes are increasing day by day. So there are two type of crimes in digital forensic or cyber forensic, which committed through the internet or which committed with any computer. For example, if I am committing any crime which is against to the law from my computer, then my computer is the only evidence which any forensic or cyber expert need to analysis which type of crime has been committed through this computer. Or you can say that through the internet I will commit crime, I will extract the someone data, or it can be like anything which involves the digital evidences like computer, hard disk, USB drives. So we can investigation these type of evidences, digital evidences comes under the digital forensic or cyber forensic. Which type of crime has been committed, how it has been committed, and what are the circumstances you have to analysis why crime is committed. Okay, we can use these all branches of forensic science under the forensic science. So forensic science is having very wide scope in various type of fields. Only you have to choose what is your area of interest, because every branch is having various type of technologies and scientific terminology which can be used at any crime scene. But if you want to solve any crime, or you can be a crime scene investigation, then you have to a good knowledge of the basics of forensic science and forensic medicine, because forensic medicine is the only branch to identify the suspicious death. Means death are of three types: homicide, committed by someone, suicide, committed by own, and the accidental. So you have to analysis which type of death is it, and what are the circumstances, what are the cause of death. So this is very important analysis which come under the forensic medicine. So it is on you which branch you are going to take in forensic science. There are various type of technologies which is continuously using in this field. Thank you so much for your patience. We will meet some other topics in our next class or in our next video lecture. Thank you so much.